In our area, a drawdown of federal immigration agents in Minnesota partly hinges on increased cooperation from county jails.
That is just one of the messages shared by Border Czar Tom Homan this morning. Fox 9's Rob Olson has been digging into exactly what this means. Rob, so Homeland Security has said Minnesota jails aren't cooperating. They haven't been cooperating, and that's part of what's pushed this operation wider in scope. What did you hear today from local officials in response to what Homan had to say?
Well, and communicating with sheriffs and the Sheriff's Association, it's really a lack of clarity here. The Minnesota Sheriff's Association met with Tom Homan a couple of days ago. The executive director told me a majority of county jails in Minnesota actually do notify ICE when an inmate they want is going to be released so that they can come pick them up. But he said they also had to explain to Homan why Minnesota jails can't then hold them beyond that scheduled release if ICE can't get there in time, that state law does not allow it. That may have been unclear to the feds before this, and that may be part of the state and federal disconnect. Homan said he's working on agreements with county sheriffs for increased cooperation. He did not specify this morning what that means, but said that is essential for a drawdown of ICE agents.
So what could have been done with one person in a safety and security jail? Now we got 15, 16 people out there doing it. I know that causes stress in the community.
You don't even know.
So if we get these agreements in place,
bring in cars,
it means less agents on the street. More agents in the jail means less agents in the street. This is common sense cooperation that allows us to draw down on the number of people we have here. Yes, I said it. Draw down the number of people here.
Stay in his own lane.
Again, waiting for more clarity. And again, I'm told that negotiations and talks are ongoing between counties and state and federal officials here. Now, Homan did acknowledge that the state of Minnesota prison system does comply with ICE detainers by notifying ICE of releases and transferring custody. The DOC's been saying this for a couple of weeks. Many county jails, again, according to the Sheriff's Association, do the same. But clearly, Homan is looking for other changes that he didn't entirely want to get into today.
And Rob, you've been asking around, so you checked with the 7 main county jails in the metro area, asking about policies. What did you learn today?
Well, I heard back from a few of them, not all 7. Anoka County said they don't hold inmates past release. Again, that's abiding state law. They didn't tell me if they notify ICE when those inmates will be released. Dakota County, of course, they told me several times they do notify. Hennepin County didn't answer that specific question. They have said before that they don't notify of release times, but they did release a longer statement today. And Hennepin County said they believe there needs to be statewide policy and legislation here, that this could be something for the state legislature to figure out, to make a policy so there's consistent and clarity across every jail in the state when it comes to these dealings with the federal government.
Victims Alex Preddy had been watching the ICE enforcement operations near his home in Minneapolis. His parents told the Associated Press that they wanted him to be careful when protesting in recent weeks.
And 11 days before his death, video showed him getting into a confrontation with agents. That video also showing him spitting and cursing at them and kicking a taillight on one of their SUVs. Tonight, we're hearing from a longtime friend who says that on the day of his death, though, he was keeping his distance and looking out for somebody else. Fox 9's Leon Purvis is in Minneapolis tonight with more. Leon?
Kelsey, Randy, Alex's friend tells us tonight that they've known each other for more than a decade and that she couldn't believe that he was shot and killed for wanting to help immigrants.
He was just an awesome person.
Heather Zielinski says she knew Alex Preddy before he got his nursing license and landed a job in the ICU at the VA hospital.
He was an avid outdoorsman. He was an avid bicyclist, and he was on his feet long hours of the day.
She says he cared about people, and when I started operations in Minnesota, Alex felt the need to help.
I know that he cared about the immigrants. He didn't want people being scared in our streets. You know, he was a wise man, and like his family came here at some point in time. All of us did.
Zelensky says he was the type of person who would do anything to help someone, and it came as no surprise that's what he did moments before he was shot on January 24th.
He was standing up. He was trying to protect a woman and tried to shield someone from getting pepper sprayed with his own body. It was a very chaotic moment, but I think his instincts just speak to his character.
And Zelensky adds that Alex was nerdy in the best kind of way. He was into things like science and engineering. We're live in Minneapolis tonight.
Can push you out of your comfort zone, but that is exactly what a Northfield woman did at a recent protest.
And as Simone Woolridge reports tonight, she called it one of the most meaningful conversations she's had in a long time.
I just feel like it's so overwhelming with the chaos and the whistles and ice. I personally can't imagine trying to do my job with a whistle in my ear.
From afar, Melissa Erlinson has been watching anti-ICE protests in the Twin Cities. But Monday, in Northfield, she saw it for herself outside of a hotel protesters believed ICE agents were staying in.
We're sitting there, and I have my niece and nephew.
What happened next was something Melissa never expected.
And I used that moment to decide if I was going to say something or not. And I said, hey, do you know if ICE is here?
That question and what followed opened up a safe space for conversation.
We exchanged, different opinions, but nothing like major. It was just a good moment. It felt peaceful for the first time during all of this going on in the world, that you kind of lose hope. So I appreciated Ella in more ways than she'll ever know.
I think Ella is waiting, so I'm going to add her in here. The protester Melissa was talking to was 18-year-old Ella Jones. Ella, are you there?
Yeah, I'm on here. Hi.
Hello. How does it feel for you guys?
Well, we were talking kind of through Messenger, deciding should we do this?
Ella preferred not to show her face on camera, but thought it was important to share the conversation.
Well, honestly, I feel hurt.
That started at the Northfield Hotel.
I'm just protesting for human rights. I'm protesting so that these innocent people don't be detained anymore. I'm not protesting for the criminals out there.
Although Ella, a high school senior, doesn't agree with Melissa's beliefs.
Wow.
And it doesn't make you
I can see why
a bad person if we believe something totally different.
She does agree with Melissa about the power of conversation, because sometimes we have more in common
Yeah, I saw my daughter in you.
than we realize.
And I think we should all be able to voice our opinions to each other and just not be so angry all the time. Because what we really need in the world right now is just a lot of love.
And we'll just go out to lunch and just talk about, normal life, not politics, but just life, and just be normal human beings. So on me though, we'll go to a fancy restaurant too.
I think that'd be awesome. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a really good opportunity.
I would love to do, I'm serious. I will totally do that.
Who's going to buy?
I know. Well, maybe we can have him here.
It is nice. The
Have
messaging,
a
though.
lunch here.
Yeah, the messaging is good to hear, that people can't actually be civil and talk to each other.
Just conversation.
Yeah.
Just peaceful conversation.
peaceful.
That was Simone Woolridge, as you saw in the piece there. She saw that on social media and then organized that meetup between the two of them to talk about what they encountered that night at that hotel.
I think they represent probably a better core of the community and people in general than what we see on the fringes, I think, oftentimes.
Yeah, just trying to
Businesses are doing what they can to help some of their neighbors.
Maury Glover spoke to a pair of business owners in Minneapolis who are trying to create a community of kindness.
It's been a month that I couldn't imagine when I opened the bookstore.
For Victoria Ford,
Oh, here's some good Louise Erdrich books.
owning a bookstore has always been about building community.
Ooh, okay, here's some fun ones.
But lately, a bookshop has started a new chapter.
I believe really firmly that we all do what we uniquely can.
For the last few weeks, her store has been distributing whistles and recently raised $6,000 in less than 2 hours for a Minnesota family that just got back from an ICE detention facility in Texas. And since Ford responded to a post on social media looking for businesses in Minnesota that don't support ICE's increased presence here,
Books that are going out to the world.
Kama has received hundreds of online orders from across the country for everything from copies of the Constitution to books on mutual aid and immigration.
It's wonderful. It's incredible to see that support. It feels so affirming for the work that we're doing.
Meanwhile, across town,
our neighborhood has felt like a war zone.
Modern Times Cafe has taken on a postmodern spin, offering free food until Operation Metro Surge is over. The menus no longer have prices, but donations are accepted. And owner Dylan Alverson says it's his way of comforting his community.
I guess I was gambling on humanity. I was trying to do something good and betting that people are better than what people think right now.
Alverson says the response has been overwhelming.
We've had to turn people away at the end of the day, so as busy as we could possibly be.
But helping his community has left him with an appetite for more.
Giving away meals feels wonderful. Seeing people happy and inspired is, it's life-changing. I'll keep doing it as long as I can.
The owner says since the change, employees are donating their time to work here, but they do receive a portion of the donations the restaurant receives.
3 right now, and another nationwide day of action is set to be held today to protest the ongoing ICE operations.
Yeah, this is similar to what we saw last Friday as well. Community activists are once again calling for no school, no work, and no shopping. Bill Keller live in Minneapolis this morning with more on what's going on today. Bill, we know there are several things planned for today.
Good morning, guys. In fact, there are already a handful of people lined up outside First Avenue for a sold-out benefit concert to raise money for the 2 Minneapolis residents shot and killed while their clash with federal immigration agents. The lineup actually includes performers who are pretty well known for their political activism, but the timing of the show is set such that when it wraps up, it'll be just in time for those folks to come out of First Avenue and join in a big demonstration scheduled to begin downtown Minneapolis. That rally in March is planned for 2 o'clock this afternoon, but the organizers want to see it expanded to go much further. This follows last Friday's general strike, which brought out tens of thousands of protesters in bitter cold temperatures. So far, they say they've already got more than about 500 businesses that have signed on to either close their doors for the day or take some type of action in solidarity with the protest against what they call President Trump's campaign of mass deportations. Before those demonstrations, there will be the concert of solidarity and resistance at First Avenue in Minneapolis. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine will be performing along with Rise Against. There will be other special guests as well, and while the tickets were $25, the proceeds go to the families of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Show starts at noon. Doors don't open till 10:30, but that didn't stop folks from showing up hours early.
Very proud of Minnesota and proud of Minneapolis, and out here today to support downtown and also to attend this concert. Very looking forward to it. I got here at 5 minutes of 5 this morning. It was -1 degrees and a little chilly out here. But as you can see, I'm the first person out here. It's a lonely life, being a rock and roll fan, but happy to be out here and again, proud to be on the streets of Minneapolis.
Yeah, and again, while the state and local leaders are encouraging anti-ICE protesters to go ahead and make their voices heard, they continue to remind Minnesotans to make sure they do it peacefully. Back to you guys.
Don Lemon has now been
I heard of
arrested
Don Lemon, yeah.
and taken into custody over his involvement in recording that anti-ICE protest earlier this month at a church.
Yeah, Chanu Her is live in the Live Center with the latest on what we know at this point. Good morning, Chanu.
Yeah, good morning, Leah and Kelly. So what we know right now, according to Don Lemon's attorney, federal agents took him into custody last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammys. This is the statement that his attorney put out on social media on his accounts, saying that Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents. He has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing this work. It goes on to say that Don Lemon will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. Right now, it is still unclear as to what charges exactly Don Lemon will face for these arrests here this morning, but we'll continue to follow that and bring you all the latest here on Fox 9 as well. But also keep in mind, 3 protesters, including civil rights attorney Nikema Levy Armstrong, were also arrested as protesters in this protest a couple weeks ago at that church in St. Paul. So they have been released and charged with violating the Federal FACE Act. So again, this is all still developing this morning as far as Don Lemon's arrest, and we'll keep you updated if any charges are detailed later on this morning, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We'll continue following this throughout the day. Appreciate it.
Repeatedly over the past week that, of course, this is something that we're investigating, and we are. That's what we would always do in circumstances like this. And so there's an investigation that's ongoing, which I'm not going to talk about. But just look, the problem is an initial reaction to a particular video, one or another. You're talking about one that happened apparently some days ahead of last Saturday. It's an investigation. So an investigation necessarily means just that. It means talking to witnesses. It means looking at documentary evidence, sending subpoenas if you have to. And the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division has the best experts in the world at this. They've been doing it for decades, and so I expect that investigation will proceed with those parameters in mind. Well, I mean, it's an investigation, so what do we think we're looking at? We're looking at everything that would shed light on what happened that day and in the days and weeks leading up to what happened, and that's like any investigation that the Department of Justice and the FBI does every day. It means we're looking at videos, talking to witnesses, trying to understand what happened. I mean, you're talking about an incredibly tragic morning, and then trying to unwind and investigate that it takes a lot of time. I'm not.
Trust me.
Nobody's like law enforcement or anything. There's a federal agent thing coming into play.
That's what he said. He said, I'm a federal agent.
He is or you are?
He said, I'm a federal agent. He's filming me while I'm trying to pump my gas. He's got the camera on my face. He's taking the pictures of my car, walking around on the side over here. I don't want anybody sticking their camera in my face. I don't know what he's trying to do with this.
So you were just...
I'm pumping my gas here. I'm pumping my gas. He parks over. He walks over there. He comes with his camera. He's filming me pumping my gas. Starts walking around my car. Takes a picture of the license plate, I'm assuming. Comes around over here. I said, what are you doing? Why are you filming me? I tried to grab his phone. I don't know who this is. It's my car. My car is my car. But I don't know who this guy is. And I don't like him sticking a camera in my face. I want to know what he was doing with it. I want to get the picture and I want him to delete it.
Yeah. Okay.
You called me.
Thank you for coming out here.
Oh, for sure. So what's going on?
So, I filmed him. I think he's a federal agent.
Okay.
And he got very angry that I was filming him. And he ran up to me. He grabbed me. He threw me on the ground.
Are you law enforcement or what's...
No.
No?
No.
No federal involvement or
Zero.
anything?
Zero. He threw me on the ground. And he tried to grab the phone out of me.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
How do you grab you? Like by your jacket or?
To be honest with you.
What do you call?
Because of my adrenaline. I don't know, but there's a witness.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. She probably knows better.
I stopped at a light and I saw this
Okay.
And I said, get off him. Why? What are you doing? And that's the only reason I'm here is just to tell that.
I got you. Okay. It's the assumption that he's works for the government.
That he came out of the Broadview facility.
Okay. You work for the government or no?
That guy?
Do you work for the government or no?
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to do.
He found me from my work.
I know. That's where this came from. Okay. Because we got, that's the info we got is somebody's young.
What a scumbag.
And this and that when we were coming over.
Found me from my work.
So after this, you started hollering about all that. This guy's alleging you tossed him on the ground.
Yeah, I was trying to grab his phone out of his hand.
Did he get on the ground?
Did he get on the ground? Yeah, he made his way to the ground.
Were you on the ground with him?
I wasn't on the ground, no.
Did he get physical with you at all?
I mean, he was actively resisting his phone out of his hand, which is good.
So, again, walk me through this, because we're reviewing, obviously, the camera footage. Did you see these people following you, everyone that stayed here? Was he following you?
I didn't notice him while I was driving. I only saw him when I got out of the gas.
Okay. And he's here, you're pumping gas, minding your own business. He's obviously recording you, recording the car, all that stuff. Do you guys exchange words or anything like that?
Not initially, not until I came around the corner and kind of hollered at him, why are you filming me? Why are you filming me?
What he said? Oh, just, okay. And then, as I see you guys are over here, then what happens?
We were tussling on the ground. Trying to get the phone.
Okay. But you're saying you obviously initiate the contact with him trying to... Okay. You're not injured, you don't need medical attention, anything like that? We didn't run the car, is this a personal car or... My personal... Listen, we're just here. We got called here.
Do you understand the seriousness of this and the doxing and the things that occur?
Listen.
Work and everything, so it's
just so you know, I know. It's we have a job to do. I understand that. Do we make sure we look this all the way through? It's up to you. I'm just, you know.
I understand.
Yeah, it's a little choppy. Yeah, I would like to try and see it from the station too. I think it's just a self-service. There, it's blurry. I can't see anything.
I don't really know that. I haven't heard of too many guys, so.
Obviously, you're a little concerned with people following you, knowing where you live. I'm waiting from them who are waiting from other people to make sure we take everybody. It sounds like Monday evening is the earliest. This is recording. Like I said, ours is spotty, but we'll kind of go from there. So, and then just grab a picture of like the sidewalk and over here. Where were you guys rolling around at?
It was right over there by that rock.
How'd you guys get separated? Do you remember?
I guess I got stood up, people started hollering. So.
You didn't punch or anything like that? Are you saying he fell to the ground when you're trying to grab the phone? Did you push him to the ground?
Well, maybe in the struggle he went down, but...
All right, let's get to Georgia Fort.
And to the media, thank you for standing in solidarity with independent journalists. I know as an independent journalist, I have challenged us to move forward as an industry. But the fact that you guys stood up for for me today shows me that we are moving together. And so to all the media who made a statement on behalf of me, thank you so much. As I reflect, as a journalist who has worked in media for more than 17 years, I leave this federal courthouse today with one question. Do we have a constitution?
Or not?
I should be protected under the First Amendment, just like all of the journalists who I've been advocating for, too. I've been advocating for mainstream media journalists who have been brutalized for months. Do we have a constitution? That is the pressing question that should be on the front of everyone's minds. And so to everybody who showed up today, thank you. Please continue to support the other people who are being charged. Obviously, because there's ongoing litigation, there is not much that I can say beyond what I'm saying now. But amplifying the truth, documenting what is happening in our community is not a crime. And the questions that were asked a few weeks ago on a Sunday morning by concerned community members, those questions still need to be answered. And as a journalist, I am committed to continuing to follow the story until their questions are answered. Thank you so much.
Hearings for two independent journalists arrested and federally charged for their roles in covering a recent anti-ICE protest inside a St. Paul church. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon and a local reporter, Georgia Fort, are both facing federal charges for interfering with a place of worship. Our Paul Bloom has been covering the day's developments today. He is joining us now. So, Paul, of course, Don Lemon is a big name nationally, while Georgia Fort has a significant following here locally, especially in the Black community.
She sure does, Simone. You know, a large group of supporters came here to the U.S. District Courthouse in downtown Minneapolis to basically have her back as she made her initial court appearance in front of a federal magistrate judge up on the 8th floor inside the courthouse earlier this afternoon. Her attorney calling it a, quote, sad day for America as this Department of Justice has indicted her on charges for something Fort insists is her constitutionally protected First Amendment right, and that's to report.
I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now.
Local independent journalist Georgia Fort took to social media to document her arrest at her home early Friday morning.
We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press.
Fort was taken into custody on federal charges for her role covering this anti-ICE protest inside a St. Paul church. Organizers targeted the church under the belief that one of the pastors is a top ICE administrator in the regional field office. A local federal magistrate judge refused to sign an arrest warrant for Fort. However, the Department of Justice convened a grand jury to indict her on charges that included intimidating or interfering with the right of religious freedom inside a place of worship.
The press is not a nuisance. It is not an inconvenience. It is not an adversary to be neutralized. The press is a constitutional safeguard.
Supporters, family, and fellow media members quickly rallied in Fort's defense. Her teenage daughter speaking here to reporters.
She is not a protester. She is not an activist. She is a mom working to provide for her children through the only way she knows how. Documenting and sharing stories of the community and truth of what's happening here every day in our state.
While federal prosecutors argued to keep Fort locked up while her case proceeds, a federal judge sent her back home.
We love you.
She was greeted with hugs upon her release before riot police quickly moved in to clear out the courthouse crowd.
I leave this federal courthouse today with one question. Do we have a constitution?
Or not?
I should be protected under the First Amendment, just like all of the journalists who I've been advocating for, too. I've been advocating for mainstream media journalists who have been brutalized for months.
Georgia Fort and, of course, Don Lemon, as well as several others, have now been charged with that protest inside the city's church in St. Paul a couple of Sundays ago during church services there. All of them have been released at orders of the judges as their cases now proceed. We're live in downtown Minneapolis. Paul Blue, Fox 9.
All right, here we go. I got it.
I think someone needs to call 911. They are seriously, attacking me. We'll call 911 right now. Yep. What's your location? Call 911. I'm right at the corner of Jefferson.
Unbelievable. Check this out. Gun draw. This one
Nope.
is unarmed.
No, I will not get out of the car. No.
Get out of the car.
No. I will not get out of the car. You guys, I need CEOs here now.
Get out of the car.
No, I will not get out of the car. You can't do this. Get your hands off of me. Get your fucking hands off me. Get your hands off me. I am not doing shit. I am observing. I am not done anything. It's my constitutional right. You're not under anyone's right now. I am not. You cannot arrest me. I'm observing. You can't arrest me. I'm observing. You cannot. I am not doing anything. You're taking a video too. Get off of me. Get off of me.
Under arrest.
Someone call the MP or someone call the police. Somebody help me. Call the police. Call the police. Call them now. Call them now. Call them now. We're calling 911. We're calling 911.
Dozens of protesters in Minnesota continue to demand federal immigration agents withdraw from their state. A federal judge on Saturday ordered the release of a 5-year-old boy and his father who were detained during an immigration raid. Liam Conejo Ramos can be seen here in a now viral photo wearing a blue bunny hat outside his house as federal agents stood nearby. He was one of 4 students detained this month in a Minneapolis suburb, according to the Columbia Heights Public School District. 2 17-year-olds and a 10-year-old were also detained, a school district official had said. Ramos and his father, Adrian Conejo Arias, had entered the United States legally as asylum applicants from Ecuador, their lawyer had previously told Reuters. They had been sent to a family detention center in Dilley, Texas, the lawyer said. U.S. Congressman Joaquin Castro posted this photo of the pair at the Dilley Center last week, saying he had visited them. Their lawyer and the Department of Homeland Security did not immediately return requests for comment. Separately, another Minnesota federal judge has declined to order a halt to President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. State officials have brought the lawsuit, accusing federal agents of widespread civil rights abuses, including the killing of 2 U.S. citizens. In a Saturday ruling, the Biden-appointed U.S. District Judge Kate Menendez said she was influenced by an appeals court decision last week. The court had blocked her earlier order for agents to rein in their tactics, such as tear gassing. Menendez said if her earlier order was thought to go too far in restricting law enforcement, then the new lawsuit to halt the entire operation was certainly be
and killed by federal agents over the weekend. But this video is from another encounter that was more than a week before he was gunned down. The video was first posted by the news movement and appears to show Preddy here in the brown jacket and hat, kicking out the taillight of an SUV.
Again, that is a new video featuring Alex Preddy in an entirely separate interaction with immigration enforcement. News movement obtained that video and its authenticity was confirmed by BBC. Now, we'll show you more of that video in just a moment, but first, Jake, does that new information change your mind about the shooting incident in which Alex Preddy was killed?
Not 1%. So 2 points about it. We'll talk more after we give you the details, sort of reaction, etc. But one is it was 11 days beforehand. Are we all held accountable for what we did 11 days before we get shot? had nothing to do with the shooting at all. But second of all, we're now killing people over taillights?
Well, look, here's what I want to know, and this is very relevant. Later in the show, we're going to talk about Ken Klippenstein's most recent reporting about the watch list that Americans are being put on, including protesters. And so given the fact that Preddy had this interaction with immigration enforcement earlier, 11 days earlier, first of all, we still don't know the identities of the individuals who opened fire and killed Alex Preddy. And were those immigration enforcement officers, those, Border Patrol officers, the same ones that were in that vehicle that he kicked the taillight of? Like these are the kinds of things that need to be answered through an independent investigation. That being said, obviously, you shouldn't do what Preddy did in that video from 11 days earlier. You shouldn't do that, okay? Yeah. Obviously, that's not a good thing to do. That also doesn't justify gunning someone down.
Yeah. So, Anna, look, first of all, we definitely want the independent investigation, not just for Preddy, but for Renee Good as well.
Yes.
So that's super important. Secondly, if they had come out of the car, which they did, by the way, and they beat him down, and that's where they broke his ribs. So that's a whole other thing that they arguably be held accountable for. But if they had arrested him for doing property damage, yeah, I get it. That was property damage, right?
So let's actually watch the video because
but the last part is, as your dad would say, yes, but none of this is related to the shooting because it happened so long ago that, as your dad says, who cares?
Who cares?
Right. So, but okay, let's discuss it.
Yeah. So here is more of the footage. Pay close attention. We'll give you some more details after we come out of it.
Agents then get out of their car and tackle him to the ground. The encounter lasts a few seconds before Preddy is let go. At one point, a gun is seen in his waistband, but it's unclear if agents saw it. Agents then deploy tear gas and walk away. In another video, we hear from Preddy moments after agents leave.
You okay? You okay? You okay? I'm okay. I'm okay. Are we all okay? Are we all safe? We okay?
So as you heard from the anchor, after the agents pepper spray him and whatever, they walk away. That would have been a good time to arrest him, no? Why didn't they arrest him? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, so ironically, it would have saved his life.
Yes, exactly. But right. By the way, not only saved his life, which is very important, but on top of that, it's the appropriate protocol. That is what they're supposed to do, but they didn't do that. Instead, they brutalized him and then they left.
Yeah. So you're not supposed to break his ribs. You're just supposed to arrest him. But look, I got one other thing out of that video. When everything is done and they leave, what's Preddy's first instinct? Go back to everybody else and go, are you okay? Are we all okay? Are we all safe? That is the instinct that he seems to have very, very consistently. He had it in the other incident. He has it as a guy who takes care of veterans, etc. Yeah, he's animated there. He's wrong kicking the tire. Come on, it's no big deal.
The taillight, yeah.
But the taillight, yeah, he broke it. I got it, right? So it's a minor crime, but yes, you could definitely arrest him for that. But overall, I still see a guy who's mainly looking to protect folks. And one other thing about it, to your point, Anna, he has a gun there. If they saw it, would they have killed him on the spot like they did the other time?
I don't know.
Right?
You can only speculate about that.
So in that case, it looks like they didn't see the gun, but that goes towards what the Second Amendment guys have been saying. Wait, if they'd seen the gun, would they have killed him on the spot at that point? Wait a minute, if we're carrying a gun at all, are we marked for execution by these guys?
I don't know.
Right? If you're anywhere near them, etc. And then lastly, just from that portion of the video, guys, did you see what our government officials look like, or law enforcement look like there? They look like stormtroopers.
Yeah, they do.
They get out of the car, they've got gas masks on, they've got the fatigues, and they're pointing all sorts of different things at American citizens. Is this what we wanted America to be? This ain't anywhere near what I want America to be.
So, President Trump appeared to want to bring the temperature down after the Alex Preddy shooting. In fact, he went against what Stephen Miller had said about Preddy. Preddy was referred to as a terrorist and an assassin. But following the release of that video, Trump retruthed the following. So it's a post by someone else. He retruthed it. And it says, it's a retruth of someone else's retruth. This is getting a little bit comical. But anyway, video just dropped of Alex Preddy spitting on and attacking federal agents in Minneapolis on January 13th, exactly 1 week before. It wasn't 1 week, it was 11 days, which was confirmed by BBC. This wasn't some peaceful protester. He was a domestic terrorist, and Trump retruthed it. So Megyn Kelly also...
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So now, like, with this, you want to talk about Israelification. Now we're down to, if you break a taillight, you should be executed? No, that's not anywhere near a domestic terrorist. You can say, hey, I don't like those actions. That's not a crazy thing to say, right? But saying because of that, he should have been executed 11 days later is nuts.
Look, I want to clarify why I don't like those actions. I don't like those actions because he's needlessly putting himself in danger by doing that.
Yes.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that. These federal agents are super militarized. Like, please just... I have no problem with people protesting, obviously. Okay, but please be safe. Be safe and don't make dumb decisions. Anyway, Megyn Kelly weighed in and said Alex Preddy was itching for another confrontation with Border Patrol, whom he'd been stalking, harassing, and terrorizing.
Come on, Megyn. Terrorizing?
Stalking?
They're in the middle of the city. What do you mean stalking?
He had been victimizing them. His felonies
Come on.
His felonies are on tape. He was reckless and it cost him his life. Find another poster boy, illegal loving leftists. Okay.
No, we won't. No, he was not victimizing poor little Border Patrol. It's beyond absurd. By the way, how weak and soft are the right-wingers making these arguments? Oh my God, you kicked out my taillight. I'm terrorized. Oh my God, you have a perfectly legal weapon that you have not at all drawn and we have already taken off of you. I'm terrorized. You yelled at me. I'm terrorized. Oh, a woman is driving 10 feet away from me at 2 miles per hour. I'm terrorized. You guys sound unbelievably weak. Okay, so you can do whatever you want with that fact, but that's what we're all hearing. I don't want anything. Oh my God, I'm so scared. All right, guys, I don't think that's the win that you think it is.
And besides which, no one's opinion matters, okay? Megyn Kelly's opinion doesn't matter. Tim Pool's opinion doesn't matter. Our opinion doesn't matter. You know what matters? An independent investigation of what happened on the day Alex Preddy was shot and killed by Border Patrol agents. That's the only thing that matters. And the real question is whether there will be a true independent investigation into Alex Preddy and Renee Good's killing. And that's the thing that I'm concerned about the most because, certainly when it comes to Renee Good, every sign from the federal government indicates that they just want to bury it. With Alex Preddy, they're, pretending to do an investigation from my read of it, and they're blocking the state from being able to conduct an investigation. Now, both Kelly and Tim Pool have since stated that they believe that Preddy has committed suicide by cop, and when asked about the footage at a CNN town hall, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey stated that it wasn't relevant, and I agree. The video from 11 days earlier is not relevant to the investigation into his fatal shooting. Here's what Frey said, or Frey. Is it Frey or Frey? I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways too.
Okay, well, anyway, he says this. I think we should be talking about the circumstances that actually led to the killing and what took place and those circumstances. Totally agree. And there are other reactions, including a pretty terrifying reaction or an advice for the Trump administration from Stephen Miller. But before we get to that, any thoughts?
Yeah, last thing here is, so let me get this right. He spit on the car, he kicked the tire, and he kicked the taillight. So that, because he's doing that to poor law enforcement's vehicle, now I said earlier in the video, I think he should have been arrested for that because that's property damage. But you guys are the right wing there, Kelly, Tim Pool, et cetera, are saying, no, don't arrest him for slight property damage. He's a domestic terrorist. Okay, let's take your definition then. If we accept your definition, then you have to accept that every person that tried to break into the Capitol on January 6th was a domestic terrorist. Like that, there's no arguing that. You can't say kicking a taillight is domestic terrorism, but punching a cop in the face, beating him with a pole, pepper spraying him is not domestic terrorism? while you're trying to break into the Capitol and you're chanting, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence? Nah, no. I'm tired of the hypocrisy and the double standards and, this for that, but the other thing for that. We believe in keeping things legal. We've said it 1 billion times. Don't throw bricks, don't start fires, don't kick the tail light, etc. And also, if you're law enforcement, don't be such a, I could use other words here, but I'm so fragile. Okay, you kicked my tail light. 11 days later, I'm going to put a bullet in your head. Okay, by the way, it might not be the same guys, etc. No, by the way, law enforcement.
Be careful in the way we talk about this, Cenk. It's really important to be accurate and not draw conclusions that don't exist yet. We don't have any evidence for it.
Hold on. Well, the conclusion is they murdered him. They put 10 bullets in him, 5 after they paused and took a lunch break, and they're like, we haven't killed him enough yet. Let's kill him again, right? So we know that happened. We don't know that it's connected to the taillight at all. But my point, Anna, is Megan and Tim or others you hit his taillight 11 days ago. You should be murdered as a domestic terrorist. Well, shut up then, okay? Then everybody at January 6th should have been murdered by the cops. That's an insane thing to say. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets...
And streaming on Care 11 Plus, I'm Jennifer Hoff. Thousands of people once again in downtown Minneapolis leading a nationwide demonstration against President Trump's immigration crackdown. Take a look at Sky 11 outside the Hennepin County Government Center. This was happening about 2:30 this afternoon when the crowd there really was at its largest. Minneapolis, of course, the epicenter of today's planned boycott of school, work, and shopping. Jessica Hart live in Minneapolis with more on that demonstration. Jess?
Jennifer, this is the second Friday in a row thousands of people came to downtown Minneapolis to protest ICE in Minnesota. Last week, we saw hundreds of businesses close, and again this week, some decided to do it all again. When the community is your compass, it's easy to find your way.
We've always been a part of the community and in ways greater than just having our door open, I'd like to think.
Marcus Parkansky runs Misfit Coffee.
It is very community-oriented. We're a small business, and we've always supported small areas.
A small business joining others in a big movement.
Being closed completely didn't really make much sense because we want a space for people to be warm or still be able to make signs or to gather and talk.
Misfit was one of several businesses that decided to join a nationwide strike where people didn't go to school, work, or shop. But they did it their way, by closing for business, but staying open for the community to serve free coffee and pastries.
It was a tough decision to make just because, we're not in a great spot. No businesses are at this time of the year.
Even though they're in a tough spot, Marcus says it was a no-brainer to pour into the community that has given them so much.
Do any of you guys want free coffee?
I fought the crowd to get over here. I really needed this coffee. Ayla Jorgensen was one of thousands of people who showed up to protest ICE.
One of the biggest things you could do is just show up, seeing people getting killed, and my community is terrifying.
For this crowd, change is their compass, so it's easy to find a way forward. The rally and march lasted for about 2 hours this Friday, and once again, it was very cold outside, but protesters tell me nothing could keep them away from today because this issue is that important.
Stella, they're looking for you. You need to get to safety. They're looking for the girl in the pink jacket. And I said, okay.
Doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people,
So, mass chaos. I wasn't even able to absorb with my eyes all of the incidents I was seeing in front of me. And honestly, when I first approached to where Alex was standing, I chose to be a bystander and film. And I knew that the best thing I could do is stay by this person's side. This person's in the middle of the street with traffic coming at them. There was a vulnerability for him in doing that. And, I was on my way to work and I was trying to also have my risk assessment, but I'm really grateful I did. Alex, with his body language, had chosen to direct traffic and make sure nobody else was going to drive through, knowing that he was seeing people being attacked in their vehicles. There were no agents really around us until my video started playing, and then it started happening so rapidly. There really was not a lot of time.
Is there something that you think people are misunderstanding or that the video is not showing?
I do. I think you see the two individuals come back into the picture, who they pushed to the ground, who Alex was protecting. Those two individuals came into the frame in the way they did because they were fleeing a very scary situation.
After the shooting, I know there were a lot of rumors online about what happened to witnesses.
Right.
And people were wondering, like, what happened to the woman in the pink jacket. Could you share, like, what did the rest of Saturday look like for you?
So, after the shooting, after Alex was taken away in the ambulance, the amount of ICE agents that were on scene became more aggressive. They started brandishing their weapons. They started pushing the crowd towards 27th. And then they put up the yellow tape line. It was very clear they were starting to treat us like we were rioting. At that moment, there was an individual who lives in the Good Dwelling building who opened the door and shared if anybody would like to get warm, if anybody would like to come inside, you can come right this way. I forgot about the video for half a second, right? Like I was like just so upset. Got in the building, realized what I had, it hit me, and I started panicking, texting Monarca, like trying to figure out like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Someone made me a cup of tea, and then you just would watch it outside unfold. You could feel the fumes coming through the windows. All of our eyes and our throats were burning. And it kept elevating and kept elevating and kept elevating. Then you were seeing these military tanks start to roll down Nicollet Avenue. And I got a call from one of my loved ones saying, Stella, they're looking for you. You need to get to safety. They're looking for the girl in the pink jacket. And everyone's like, hide the jacket. So this amazing woman offered to trade coats with me, offer me a head wrap, and anything I needed to disguise myself. I have a local place that all of my community was gathering, and all of my neighbors I know were gathering, and they said, just come here now. And I was finally safe, and I was able to properly connect with the ACLU, file my report, give them my video, and that is the testimony you see online today. I haven't been able to go home. I'm not able to use my phones, and I'm not able to drive my car. I had my car moved the other day and somebody was following it. My friend was driving it. I was not there.
I know it's a really hard question, but to ask, what was it like witnessing the shooting?
When he died, I knew it, and I feel like I saw it. It was hard to believe that that would happen in my town of Minneapolis I love so much. And to Renee Good, you know, somebody who is new to the Twin Cities, and I'm so proud of being here, and I'm so proud of living here. And it just makes me so mad that people are trying to take that away from us. He should have never died. He should have never died. He should have never been murdered. It's imperative that federal
and Alphabet should never fucking die.
Agents in our streets display their face, share their name, and identify themselves. So this is my testimony of that. In addition to, I want all of us to feel more comfortable coming forward and not be threatened by this administration on this level. The more of us that do that, the less of us are individually at risk. So I just think that this is a community of brave, courageous people, and I'm just being given an opportunity to represent that. So that's why, because I just appreciate everything that everybody's doing, and it takes all of us to make this a safer community again.
Yeah, and this is a random question, but I was like, are you going to get your pink jacket back?
I appreciate that.
I wonder if you like took it in a bag, because I'm like, it's a nice color.
So the pink jacket. I remember people saying, you're really going to wear that pink jacket? I'm like, I know. I want them to see me. Isn't that the idea? Like, be seen, be heard? And it was always this joke. People are like, you're that pink jacket. Now it's become this thing, and I'm really glad I had that pink jacket. I mean, I am. But I think it's also a testament that it's important to not let them intimidate you and to not change your person because they want you to go inside or wear darker clothes or look like a threat. Like, I'm going to be pink and glittery and whatever I choose to be and blow a whistle. And I am getting the jacket back. So the plan is to get the jacket back, not through me, this week. So there is a plan for.
All right, I got one bonus track to play. We're gonna have some fun with this one. Are you ready? You ready? You ready? Let's go.
We sang for an age on a January day. Shot down in Minneapolis, federal agents wouldn't say. Why a woman in her Honda had to die that way. We lit our candles, raised our voices to the winter air. Said not one more, Lord, not one more. Saturday morning came around. Alex Pretty fell without a sound. We saved lives in the ICU, knew how to heal. Now it's gone and they won't let us see what's real. Phone in one hand, filming what was going down. Reached out to help a woman they'd shoved to the ground. They pepper sprayed her, threw him to the street. Shot him while he was pinned beneath their feet. Not one more. We said not one more. But here we stand, counting again. How many names we gonna have before the end? Not one more. We cried not one more. But that bed will break, scatter in fear. While a tear gas falls and the trove disappears. But I'm putting down my anger, reaching out my hand. 'Cause divided we will fall across this land. We're neighbors, we're brothers, somebody's daughter, somebody's son. About one more means all of us for none. We're stronger together, standing as one, not one more. Never one more. This time we mean it. Hear us say, we're standing together.
Not one more. Renee Good. And Osprey. Yep, that's right. With that said, I am out of here. My job. Peace out. Fuck eyes, abolish eyes, and fuck you all.